Now we have Stipe Miocic, or Miocic calling in, or Miocic, or Miocic. We've asked him before, we always fuck it up, but we love Stipe. It's very, very hard for me to pick against Stipe because I like him as a person so much. I like him as a guy. He's like one of my favorite guys to interview. He's a really a lovely guy. You know, and Ngannou, everyone knows, I've been a big fan of Ngannou. Since way back. I love him. I mean, I've loved him before he was popular. I love Ngannou.
Yeah.
Before it was cool to love him, you loved him.
Before it was cool to love him.
Yes.
Before when we all thought his name was Ngannou.
Right.
But it's kind of hard to pick against Stipe Miocic. It's very, very hard because something tells me the fact that Stipe is the underdog, the fact that everyone's talking about Francis's power, the fact it was almost like when Rumble fought DC. Everyone was talking about this knockout power. And what did Rumble do? He fucking smothered him and threw him down. Now, again, Francis, I think impossible to smother. I don't think, if Overeem couldn't do it, Stipe may have a little more. What's the weight difference between these two? Because Overeem was outweighed by a lot.
I mean, Ngannou's listed as 250 and Stipe's listed at 240. I would assume that is probably pretty accurate for Stipe. I think Ngannou probably weighs more than
I already had to cut to get down there. What was it, 265?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to be hard to hold up. Stipe will have a speed advantage.
Are we making our pick right now?
I mean, we're just talking about it. I think Stipe can throw combinations.
Let's start with it.
I'm going to be crazy, and I'm going to pick Stipe for a second-round knockout.
Wow. Okay.
And it's not to knock Ngannou. I love Francis Ngannou. But because everyone is looking at Ngannou going, he's going to knock Stipe out, there's something bothering me about that. And it's like, you can't look past Stipe Miocic. You can't.
No, and he could be, I mean, he will be the record holder for 3 defenses if he wins this fight.
Yeah, man, and he has been destroying people. Again, if Francis gets a hold of him, can Francis knock him out in the first? Absolutely.
Yeah.
If Francis lands an uppercut or lands a straight punch, he can. But something tells me he's going to have a harder time hitting Stipe.
You know, the champ, DC, made some good points, and he's saying everybody's talking about Francis putting people away. What about the champ?
Yes.
What about Stipe? He's been putting people away, too. And I believe, you know, and he's been putting away former champions. I mean, you know, I just feel that experience. I feel that Francis is going to look to just not, I don't think he's going to respect him enough. I think he's going to go in there feeling like a superhero, and he's going to look to put Stipe away, and I think Stipe's going to counter, and I say he's going to Stipe by knockout first round.
You know, I don't know if he won't. Here's why I don't know if he won't respect him enough. He comes from. Again, one thing about Francis, his story is so interesting. Being homeless and fighting his way up. Like, this guy comes from nothing and is fighting his way into this amazing world. Like, those guys are dangerous because they're very, very hungry. Yeah. And they see every guy as a fucking obstacle to their dream and to their family's life. Like, I don't know if he'll take Stipe lightly. Stipe is the champ. I think he'll respect him, but he may be in that thing where he doesn't think anybody can knock him out.
I'm not saying take him lightly, like not train properly.
Yeah.
I'm saying not respect his, like, he's believing in himself so much that he's going to go out there, try to impose his will, and try to take Stipe out, just like he did to Overeem. He went in there and fucking threw some hands, and it landed.
Dude, when he had Overeem up against the cage, that was, you could see in Overeem's face, he was not, when I told you when in the weigh-ins, when Francis put his arms up, that was such a weird thing to do to show how big he was, and Overeem looked uncomfortable, and I've never seen him look uncomfortable.
I wonder if he does that. His nickname is the Predator, right?
Yeah.
You ever see the Predator, the movie, when he puts his arms out, like when he's fighting Arnold? I don't know if he's doing it for that, but holy fuck.
Well, the reach
it
advantage.
Looked like a monster movie.
Does he have 2 inches reach over Stipe?
His arms out.
Yeah,
he's got 3. Francis has an 83-inch reach. Stipe has an 80-inch.
And Stipe had a reach advantage over most of the guys he has just fought. Am I correct? And that's a lot of research to do real quick. But over Mark Hunt, I believe he did. I think he did over JDS. I'm pretty sure he had a couple of inches against Verdum. Was it an inch or 2 over Fabricio Verdum?
I'm trying to look. Sorry, my computer's been...
That's okay. I should have asked you in advance for this. Right. But that does make a difference. When guys are throwing this hard and closing the distance, you know, if you can close the distance, you can get up, you know, it can be the difference between life and death, 1 inch. I think a 3-inch reach advantage is a big advantage for Francis.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, that's the thing. I mean, for my pick, I love Stipe. I get what you guys are saying completely. I think there is a way to beat Francis. Francis's power, to me, is just something that is very hard to deal with. I'm taking Francis with the first-round knockout. Because if it doesn't happen in the first round, then I think Stipe's really has the chance to win that fight. Yeah.
Well, I wonder what Stipe thinks of Chris the producer's pick.
Well, no, but it's not a crazy pick.
Don't do what, Chris the producer?
I almost picked Francis too, But the thing is that Stipe's wrestling and Stipe can take him to the ground. I don't think Stipe is dumb enough to just stand there and trade punches. I do think that he's going to, like Cormier said, he's going to try to switch levels. I do think he's going to try to grab his legs and take him down. I also think Stipe can kick. I think Stipe's going to come out and kick a little bit, which is good. Then again, what do I know? I thought that's what fucking Alistair was going to do, was use that leg advantage or maybe try to clinch and throw those knees. Or maybe he wanted to do that and just couldn't do it because Francis was so strong.
Right. Well, now Stipe has an advantage because we've seen Francis fight these higher level guys, and so he's getting a little bit of tape on him. He can kind of watch what Francis's tendencies are. It's not I don't think it's in any way impossible for Stipe to win. I just think Francis is going to win. But
hey, Jimmy,
what's up?
You know, if I seen Chris the producer out like at a bar or something, and he's like having a drink, and I know he's a newlywed. If he's with and there's another girl there or something, I wouldn't even look that way because it could be a friend, it could be a cousin, it could be a sister.
No one's business.
But that's called bro code.
Yeah.
But I'm throwing him under the bus with fucking. This has nothing to do with anything.
Stipe's like the nicest guy too.
He is the nicest guy. You fucking prick.
I know.
Fucking first count KO.
Verdum had a 77-inch reach, so Stipe did have a 3-inch reach.
I thought so. And having on Hunt, I'm sure smaller guy. What about JDS? He's in that whole 76-inch maybe.
Do you know what I think of reach? Do you know what I think of reach? Being a guy 5'6". That laid some people out.
Absolutely.
77 also for JDS.
Okay, but I think when a guy who hits as hard as Stipe does, or a guy who hits, and again, anyone can knock you out in a division, but guys who are hitting that hard, I think it's harder to take a couple of shots on your way in.
Yeah. By the way, Mark Hunt has a 74-inch reach, which is so crazy that he's fighting all these animals.
He's such a little bull, though. He literally just and he can take a punch. I would love to see Ngannou Hunt.
Well,
that would be a fun fight to watch. Even though I think Ngannou would beat him at this point, because Hunt's taking a few shots.
Right.
When you're trying to really hurt somebody, you put yourself out there to be hurt.
Yes, you do.
So he will try to hurt Stipe because so far you don't see Francis stepping backwards too much.
No, you don't.
Stipe. Look what he is it me or did he knock out Verdum going backwards?
Going backwards, he did. But again, does Verdum have the? Again, we don't know what Francis's chin is like either.
This is a real test, right?
He has not been tested. His chin has not been tested by a guy like Stipe.
I think it's going to be, and Stipe, I feel, stays the course. He doesn't get carried away with being the heavyweight champ. You see him unembedded working the snowblower.
Dude, he's
that guy don't care. He's funny, first of all.
He's
hanging up on his wife, him and his buddies. He's fucking,
if he wasn't like literally the baddest man on the planet, as everybody's saying, he's just an average guy.
He's your neighbor, Stipe. Yeah. Hey, there's Stipe. What's up, Stipe?
Yeah, he's a big boy.
He's a down-to-earth dude. And he's gonna come in chewing on that fucking mouthpiece.
Problem is, though, do you think the weight advantage is that was a big advantage? I'd love to know what the Overeem Miocic was. Overeem Ngannou weight advantage was.
Listen,
Overeem probably, I don't know.
He came in fairly light, I think.
Overeem,
or am I an idiot? Maybe he didn't come in fairly light. 234 to 260 something.
I think Overeem weighed more than that.
You might be right.
I remember.
I'll kiss you either way.
I'm remembering one fight that Stipe had Stipe went out. Yes, with one fight. Did he get
knocked out? JDS was a decision, I think, right? Stefan Struve in the second round, I think.
Yeah.
How long ago was that? And
that's got to be 4 years ago.
Well, hey man, you got to get.
I'm looking.
4 years ago, Francis wasn't even training.
Yeah.
Fucking. So I mean, that experience, and he hasn't been stopped since.
Longer. It was 2012.
Come on, Jimmy. 2012. We gotta get sleep. Let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that means, Jimmy.
Oh, I think you're not wrong.
I heard it somewhere.
No, you're not wrong. It's an old expression.
Is it?
Yes, it is. So
let's do some picks. All right. So I'm picking Stipe first round KO. He's doing Chris
second round. Yeah, I'm doing second round Stipe knockout because again, I just think his experience and the fact is he's fought guys who hit hard enough to knock you out immediately. I don't think Stipe has had a guy who is as ferocious or as fast as Stipe.
No.
And I do think Stipe will try to put him down on the ground.
Yeah, well, listen. I am a little biased, too, because Stipe's been
It's very hard to pick against him. But it's hard to pick against Ngannou for me, too, because I like him so much.
You love Francis.
I do.
I'm a big fan, too. And I'm a bigger fan every time I see the guy out there, and he seems so humble and happy to be where he's at. And Chris,
what are you taking? Stipe knocked out before he gets in the ring?
Just to answer your question from before, Francis weighed in at 262 against Overeem. Overeem weighed 247.
Okay,
so I would
15 pounds. Okay.
Yeah, so I would think Stipe's, I'm just guessing, probably weighs a little bit less than Overeem would.
Okay, about a 15-pound difference.
Yeah.
Go. Let's go ahead. Let's go through some stuff now. Come on.
Okay, so we all got our picks for the heavyweight division.
Yeah, I got to call Stipe in a minute, but we can pick another fight.
All right. Let's do. Want to go back and just go down? DC,
Yeah, why don't we do DC?
DC versus Volkan.
Yeah.
I'm going by DC. I'm going to go by interesting.
I'm going to take.
What are you picking?
I'm going to take Cormier because Cormier is just too smart, and I think Cormier will again avoid that big shot and keep him up against the fence the same way he did against Rumble and smother him. I think Cormier is wrestling.
Okay. How do you think? You think it's going to go the distance? Or?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it could. Has Usman gone the distance a lot? Like, he's knocked so many guys out so fucking quickly. His last 2 fights were 47 seconds total.
Yeah, he's had a few decisions. But yeah, his last, I mean, he's been in the octagon for like 2 minutes.
When's the last time Cormier had a submission?
He's tapped Rumble Johnson before the John Jones fight.
That's right. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it's that's
Rumble retired right after that.
Yeah, but Rumble is kind of known for, first of all, being one of the hardest hitting, most brutal strikers there was in the UFC. But if shit doesn't go his way, he'll be like, all right, you got me. You know what I mean? Listen, he's not exactly Holly Holm fighting out of that fucking thing.
I say, I say Cormier, 3rd round submission.
I have the same thing.
I think DC 3rd round submission.
You know what? I think this Volkan's training hard. He's training hard. He's going to try to fucking neck pinch him. No, I'm not kidding. He's going to, I believe it will go the distance. I believe he's going to,
Wow, you do?
I
Okay.
think he's going to last.
Okay.
I think DC's going to beat him.
Okay, DC by decision.
Yes.
There you go.